Peace. This is Star with the Star Blooms. I'm back live. Okay, so I'm going to be shooting out a couple of messages today. This next message is very, very near and dear to my heart. It took me a second to really get acquainted with this rate and version of myself. And the way that Spirit brought it to me was so beautiful. So, once again, I would like to thank the ancestors for guiding, protecting us, our assigned ancestors at this time, also our assigned angels at this time for connecting to us, our higher self for being with us and in us, and allowing us the opportunity to continue to move and flow into an aligned soul agreement at this time in our life, in our light. All right. A lot of times we get all like convoluted and just like messed up and misconstrued in the head because we feel like things are out of our control. You may not understand that things are out of your control at this time because you were always meant to have a team. And a lot of times, if you're working with a team, you may not be willing or be at a rate to actually do all the tasks that the team requires. You're going to delegate. You're going to be in a circumstance to where you receive help. You're going to be in a circumstance to where there is a group agreement on where people are meeting each other to actually come together to formulate and actually make a whole of a sum total. And in that, a lot of us have had to basically become adjusted in our rate of being. Here's why. A lot of us have been service providers. And the thing that a lot of service providers aren't aware of is that there becomes a point where you have to get away from the idea of just servicing and starting to understand how to basically open up to go on to the journey to consent to receiving. All right. This is a big deal. It's not just receiving. To receive something, y'all, is to have something in your possession. And a lot of times, the reason why people who've always been of service have a hard time of actually owning something, taking something, carrying something, and possessing it and calling it their own for their betterment that other people may not necessarily be able to benefit from, that's just for them, it becomes a thing to where we have to basically place our needs first. And when you're at a rate to where you are so easily able in convincing yourself of how other people are capable of being able to be the better in a circumstance, you sometimes might bypass yourself. So when you start to create these self-love tactics, when you start to live a self-full life where you're putting yourself first, where you're considering yourself, where you're honoring yourself, where you're actually choosing yourself. That's so big, y'all, to choose yourself in a lot of these circumstances. Because a lot of times there's even things as not as simple, because love is not simple, but things like love will require you sometimes to even choose other people due to the confusion that a lot of agreements bring. All right. And sometimes entanglement has us in places where we are actually making decisions based off of empathy. Spirit is actually allowing us an opportunity of pureness to be at a different rate with ourselves and learning how to consent to receive what is necessary for us. Why is this? A lot of times, many people want to bulk up circumstances. And the reason why they'll bulk up circumstances is because they have sometimes an illusion or a desire to lead an illusion of imagery, right? So it's like, well, if I can get you to believe that you aren't strong enough. Now, the idea a lot of us aren't actually aware of is a lot of times people don't have access to us. We give permission and we open up to allow people in. And we open up through ways of thought process. We do it through ways of operating, ways of being with oneself, how we engage with other people. If you're thinking about, if I could get you to believe that you aren't strong enough, for a lot of us empaths, we know that we're strong enough. Why do we know this? A lot of times we've always had to actually show up. Life has actually gifted and granted us many circumstances where you was the only one willing to show up and actually feed the root of a circumstance. And when you think about feeding a root of a circumstance, you're getting down to the actual problem of what is going on. You become the resolution. You become the bearer and the worker that is going in to pull up the weeds to take away the things that aren't necessary. You become the fixer sometimes in circumstance. And a lot of people don't understand that when you allow yourself to be at this rate on a consistent base, and you start to be the one who is the go-to or the call to for these type of tasks, when it becomes your season to be open for you to consent to receive, you are now basically taking off of all of these burdens on you. You are now taking off all of this weight on you. And this sometimes could be perceived as the journey to, I would say, like the journey of from grace to glory for the warrior spirit. When you're a warrior, you're so used to fighting, and you have to basically get to a point to where you learn to live a life of ease and still battle, because there's a battle that's still occurring, but yet it's a mental battle and it's not a physical battle anymore. You have to be at a rate of peace within. Your nervous system has to be calm. You have to learn how to start balancing out your hormones, especially for us women. When you get to this rate of going from having to fight and having to actually go out of your way to do all of these things, the spirit is now consenting you to say, hey, be open to receive. Now be open to actually allotting yourself to be in possession of what it is that you desire. You're taking other things that you would have usually carried away, and spirit sometimes will take them away from us, y'all. Sometimes we don't even have to take it away. Sometimes it be spirit that will remove things from us, okay, to allow us to actually have an allotment of space to be able to be in the consent to receive. If I could get in your head, right, and if I could allot you a rate to where you're willing to exchange and take on energy that costs you, all right, because sometimes a rate isn't always something that other people pay. Sometimes it's something that you are now in contract and an agreement with. If I could get you to a rate of experience where you're willing to now pay your opportunity for you to now receive the things that you've been desiring and give that up, because you think, oh, well, I'm not doing as much as I normally do, so I'm not as strong because I'm not dealing as much as I normally would have deal. I'm not as capable because I'm not requiring as much as I normally would have required. You are literally talking yourself out of what it is that you are walking into. Spirit does not want us to be at this rate where we're trying to convince ourselves to go back through doors. We've been at a rate now where we are actually being carried over thresholds. And it's different when you walk into a doorway, or you're walking at a doorway, you just standing there at the entry of a door. It's a different rate when you've now been carried over this threshold. These spaces that you are walking into aren't requiring your feet for you to be able to step into them. You may not actually have to meet all of the criteria that other people would have placed on you. And you're at a new rate where you get to be in the experience of your truest desires, just because you had the right to ask so. Just because you had the right mindset to know so, you stop believing in things that you already knew to be true. You don't have to fight what people want to actually place on you. You don't even have to require yourself to come up with answers and antidotes to cure other people's mindsets or their belief in you. You get to be at a rate in a division within yourself to where you're actually the cure, the aid, and also the remedy for you to be at this new rate. Be in this space where you're allowing yourself to consent to receive, y'all. If you've been empathic, if you've been open, if you've been a service provider and always rendering something to somebody else, and you find yourself being at the end of the bargain, you find yourself being on the uneven tone of actually being able to actually receive, you never really have your dreams or your desires in your possession. It seems like it just keeps on missing you. Spirit is actually giving you the opportunity to now have your say so. And in doing this, you have to be at a rate to where you are now deciding, all right, I did enough. Not I did enough and there's nothing else to do. I did enough and now I get to be at ease. I've done enough work and now I get to finally have that vacation. I've done enough work and I now finally get to have this opportunity. I've helped enough people get in the door. Now I finally get to have this dream that I've been holding on to for so long. Yes, I actually had a dream before, but now this dream has grown and morphed into something else that I didn't really intend for it to do. But I'm going to actually walk into this threshold that Spirit is carrying me into. And I'm going to recognize that even if it looked like I failed and I wasn't supposed to be at this rate, I didn't fall because there were bigger hands over my little heart. I get to be at a new opportunity with myself, right? And because you get to be at this new opportunity with yourself, you are now getting to actually experience a new rate of experience just because your true desires are actually meeting you in the space of your choosing. You stop choosing against yourself and you're actually allowing you to be at the rate that you're actually wanting and desiring because you're in step with what spirit has for you, okay? I just wanted to share that with y'all. A lot of us aren't aware that we also have to consent to receive. It's one thing to want something, but it's another thing to want it and then choose it as well. It's another thing to want it and then choose you and then choose what is best for you. And then spirit is also aligning you with the rate of your experience. It's a unique actual transformation. It's a unique spiral that's happening, a figure eight that's actually occurring within you and source, within your physical reality and your spiritual world, within the 5D that's coming into this now moment. You have to be at a rate to where you are consistent across the board. It's not that difficult when you allow ease to be your new experience and your new idea and your new path that you're taking. Sometimes when you're the warrior spirit, though, it becomes difficult for you to actually agree to not fight physically and to actually allow spirit to fight on your behalf. So choose to actually put your fist down. Allow yourself to actually know that the war is now mental. Allow yourself to know that the war is now what other people want to basically place on you and your ability to stand firm and be whole in what it is that you know, based off of and even sometimes going up against what other people may want to believe. Be in a space and a rate to where you let them. This is the let them spirit. This is the let them time frame. Let them think what they want to think. Let them believe what they want to believe. Let them desire what they want to desire. But you be in the space where spirit has required for you. Recognize and know that these dreams that are coming true for you aren't just for you at this point. They're more actually gonna be in alignment with you and other people. Some of y'all don't even understand that you're the answered prayer. You're not answering prayers. You are the answered prayer for a lot of people's prayers. You're literally the seed that's going to be planted amongst a lot of gardens. And if you hold yourself back, you aren't just holding yourself back. You're keeping a piece of a puzzle that's way bigger than you. And you might not see it all right now, but don't give up. I love y'all. I'm not coming to just be inspirational, y'all. It's so much more bigger than that. A lot of times we just need healthy reminders. A lot of times we be on this scroll pattern and we just be scrolling to move past and move beyond because we be trying to escape from who it is and what it is that we're called to actually pay attention to. Give yourself the energy back. Come back to yourself at this rate. I was just thinking this, and here she is, bless me. Here she is actually in a moment of me trying to get away from, bringing me back to realization of where I was always meant to be at. Be able to be at the rate where you are aware of the messages that you've been receiving and allow the alignment and the agreement to continue to come in, confirming for you, being the confirmation in your spirit, being the confirmation in your waking life, what it is that spirit has already decided, what it is that's transpiring and manifesting for you. Peace. This is Star. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share this information. Don't just take it, just share it with somebody who you feel like may be aligned with it, with people that you know who are also on their spiritual journey, who are also walking and working towards something that they're creating. Allow yourself to be the creator in co-creation at this time. And know that you have to render yourself useful at a rate to where you're also willing to give things over and delegate, even if that's allowing your spirit team to come in and do what it is that they do. I love y'all. Have a dope day. Peace. It's not stopping, y'all.